Overwatch 2 didn't get a release date or word on a beta at BlizzCon 2021, but a behind the scenes panel revealed a huge number of new details, expanded information, and in-progress experiments from the game's team. These new details included brand new maps, a huge upgrade to PvE hero progression, new campaign and story details, major overhaul experiments for PvP, and much more. So here's everything new we learned about Overwatch 2. Two new Overwatch maps were revealed as part of the panel, Rome and New York City, although it's not clear what PvP mission types they'll be. Rome was shown as concept art and in-engine and is meant to offer the romantic, powerful feeling of old world architecture. The Colosseum, a Roman temple, and a modern stadium all appear to be part of the map. New York City is recreated in a 1920s Art Deco style, with sci-fi elements woven in. The map will start you in a version of the village and take you past small businesses, Grand Central Station, and includes a version of the Flatiron building. While Overwatch 2's PvP leans heavily on the existing Overwatch's structure, the team is making experimental changes that make Overwatch 2's PvP a big departure from the current live version. The team is currently experimenting with role passives, background abilities that affect an entire class of characters. The tank passive is currently a reduction in knockback and less ult charge generated for those shooting them. The damage passive is a boost in movement speed, and the support passive is a slow automatic healing effect, similar to Mercy's existing passive but less effective. Tank characters in general are being evaluated in order to make them more suitable for close-up brawling than simply absorbing damage. For example, an experimental build of Reinhardt gives him 2 fire strike charges, charge cancelling, and better steering while charging. All of these experiments may not make it to the final version of the game, but aim to show how radical the team's thinking is around PvP. A team called the Combat Field Group has been put together specifically to make combat a more connective, immersive thing. Every character is being evaluated by this group. This includes new hero Sojourn, with the team revealing that she uses a railgun to bring back some of the feeling of classic shooters. The gun requires accurate use and can rip through enemy health bars. Quick melee attacks have been revisited, with better reaction animations upon hits and more impactful sound effects. Weapon sounds have also been revisited, with convolution reverb drastically changing the noise of firing depending on the environment, and guns audibly registering that they're running low on ammo. The team's not taking existing modes for granted though. Jeff Kaplan says it's possible that the assault mode will be replaced in Overwatch 2, although this seems to be an experiment rather than a promise. Hero missions are the game's replayable co-op PvP mode, which have been designed to entice new players who might be less interested in competitive play. Hero missions have been designed as a place to level up your heroes. More on that later. The team plans to make hundreds of hero missions, which can be played night after night, without it feeling like a grind. Hero missions will contain light story elements, and can be played with any character in the roster. Every existing Overwatch map will be used for hero missions. Some maps will have brand new areas in hero mission variants. For example, a payload in King's Row may move along a different route to usual, revealing that a normally gated off section opens, revealing a new section of map behind it. The same maps can be played with different objectives and different enemy factions. Hero mission maps will be playable at different times of day to usual. Every map has daytime, sunset, and night variants. Hero missions can also see dynamic weather conditions, which can change mid-match. We've been shown sandstorms, snowstorms, and rain. Weather conditions will be shown on a world map before picking a mission, allowing you to pick suitable heroes. It may be useful to take a Widowmaker or Hanzo player into a sandstorm, for example, as their abilities can reveal enemies in poor visibility. Hero mission objective types include Gather and Return, where you collect canisters from across the map and safely dispose of them at marked locations. Other internal names for mission types include Wall of Death, Scavenger Hunt, and Kill Quest. Hero progression for PvE modes has been substantially built up since the first showing of BlizzCon 2019, with every hero now given separate talent trees to work down. Each tree is geared towards a different named build, although there appear to be no restrictions to mixing and matching. Reinhardt's free trees are called Crusader, Juggernaut, and Guardian, while Soldier 76's trees are Commander, Rifleman, and Vigilante. Each tree seems to have 7 tiers to progress down, unlocked with skill points and with choices of abilities made on the way down that tree. Trees have allowed the developer to break their own established rules for characters. We even see Mercy use Area of Effects Resurrections, an ability stripped from the character in 2017. New abilities include double grenade launchers for Junkrat, the ability for Mercy to fire explosive blasts from her staff, and Reinhardt being able to pin multiple enemies at once. Weapons can also gain elemental effects. We see Reinhardt's Fire Strike become a freeze strike, and a version of Junkrat's traps that add an electrical shock effect. The team showed more of the aesthetic changes they've made to more established heroes, including improved fabric tech and a more advanced face rig to allow characters to be more expressive, particularly in cinematics. McCree now sports a full beard and is visibly older with a more armoured look. Pharah now wears more of the original Overwatch's blue and white colours and has a translucent visor to allow for more emotions to show. Reaper is now fully armoured and wears a more metallic costume. His mask has also altered in colour to a more steel grey. Widowmaker has been given more of a cyberpunk aesthetic, and her ponytail is now a huge braid. The Overwatch 2 team felt PvE enemies weren't interesting enough in the 2019 build. Null sector enemies have been worked on to make them more engaging to fight. Enemies now react more to being shot, even losing body parts and continuing to fight. Larger enemies have weak spots that can be exploited. Enemy reactions can cause chain reactions. Shooting one enemy into another can cause them both to stumble, and entire rooms of enemies can be affected with the right abilities. The team is experimenting with elite enemies, which don't just add extra health or damage output to existing enemy types, but change their weaponry, abilities, or behaviour. A normal Omnic Guard might shoot slowly and collapse on death, where an elite Omnic Guard will have a burst fire gun and try to crawl towards you and explode when defeated. Different mission types will see entirely different enemy types appear. The Breacher is a walking bomb that slowly moves towards its objective and must be destroyed before it transforms and detonates. The Puller is a creepy blindfolded enemy equipped with 3 orbs that act as a tractor beam, pulling you in and downing you unless stopped. Overwatch 2's campaign centres on the members of Overwatch being brought back together to work out who's behind a second Omnic uprising. Every mission will feature cinematic intros and outros with seamless cuts to and from gameplay. Musical themes have been composed for every playable hero and every location. Every story mission is set in a custom built map and are described as absolutely gigantic. The India map features the team escaping from a temple as a fire causes elements of the map to fall apart, funneling players through corridors and into wide open areas. It's one of the biggest Overwatch maps yet made, and the story in that India map takes beats from recent Overwatch comics. The Sweden, or more specifically Gothenburg map, will include a section set inside Torbjorn's workshop. The Toronto map will take place during a Null sector siege and takes place during a snowstorm, which will see snow build up steadily as you progress through the level. Footage shows escaping friendly NPCs, implying it won't just be Overwatch versus enemies on these maps. Hero lineups aren't completely set for story missions, meaning players can choose from a selection. Every available hero will have voice lines, and different combinations will cause different conversations and branch in dialogue during the mission. Well, there you have it. All of the new details we've learned about Overwatch 2. What are you most excited about? Let us know in the comments, and for everything else Overwatch 2, stick with IGN.